is that Thomas Tuchel will be leaving at the end of this season. The N, of course, so much speculation about his future. Do we have his quote? Do we have what he had to say? Oh, we don't. We killed the quote. Okay. Jules, why now?
Well, I think they announced it now because, I mean, why wait anyway? I mean, I think it's a bit of a weird situation, a bit like for Xavi, to have a manager clearly struggling. They've lost 3 in a row now in all competitions. And you said, you know what, we're not going to sack you now. Well, why not? If he's not good enough now, he won't be good enough next week or the week after. Why do you keep him for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
But to announce that he will be leaving at the end of the season, I don't know, it's a bit strange to me, but at least he avoids all the questions all the time about his future, the pressure. So now they've said it. He will stay until the end of the season. I'm not sure, by the way, if they lose and get battered at Leipzig at the weekend for 4 defeats in a row, I think he could get sacked before the end of the season. But I think they wanted to announce it today to just avoid, again, all the questions and all that kind of pressure from the media in Germany and in Europe.
It's pathetic because, look, he's lost the dressing room. For whether you agree or not, right? He's tried to handle senior players certain ways. He's made it crystal clear, quite a few of these guys that are international footballers, he doesn't fancy them. He's not hidden that, but then, and I keep saying this, he's then had to go back and say to them, help me out. That's a problem, right, when you don't handle that properly. Whether we agree with these players not getting on with them or not, or whatever, they aren't playing well. His tactics have been terrible. Bringing in Eric Dyer, what's the point? What's the point? 6th choice at Tottenham, all these kind of things. So, as Jules said there, they've got this game against Leipzig at the weekend. And by the way, they've looked average against Gladbach, Augsburg, and Bochum last time out. Leipzig are a pretty good attacking side. So, Bayern are going to have to eat some real humble pie here. We say, no, this is the end of the year for us. You know, we're just going to see it through and everybody's happy and they're all going to move in a different direction. Oh, but we've just been battered, so now we're going to change again. It makes them look amateur. I mean, it really does, having to keep possibly pivoting on decisions that you made, because if it's not Saturday or if it's not the weekend against Leipzig, it's the return leg, the second leg of the Lazio game. So it's waiting to happen, is what I'm saying. Unless there's this miraculous announcement and all of a sudden the players are all on side and there's a big uptick in these Bayern performances. Well, you know, if Barcelona maybe stupidly thought that was going to happen, it certainly hasn't at Barcelona. Why would it happen at Bayern?
Frank, does it make any difference to the players in the dressing room knowing that he's going to leave? It's like, right, come on, let's get together for these last 2 months before he gets out.
Yeah, it does make a difference, and but not the way you're thinking. It's maybe for some others say, yeah, well, you can talk, man. You know, we don't care. You don't stay. So we're going to do whatever we want, and it's already a big mess, I guess, in the dressing room. So it doesn't help anything out of the system and how they want it to work, how the board want it to work. I think it's even worse. Some players who might say something to Thomas Tuchel in the face, and it could get worse. It's why I don't understand that. But what is that thing with those managers leaving at the end of the season? Klopp, Xavi, Tuchel for different reasons. But I never seen that so much. When you don't want to coach, when it doesn't work, you don't keep it. You don't keep him. But you don't say before the end of the season what you're going to do, because for that reason, for that explain, and some other reason where you feel as a player that you don't have a skipper anymore, that you're by yourself, that guy is going to make a choice. But if you play okay, you're going to try to do your best. But if you don't play, you feel really useless, and you cannot work hard because you know that you're not going to be chosen by the coach because he's about to leave. So it doesn't make any sense for me.
But the Klopp situation, I mean, take that. That's a completely different scenario.
But Xavi's similar.
Yeah, no, Xavi and Tuchel are similar. The Klopp one's a different dynamic because there might be 1 or 2 players at Liverpool that are not getting game time or maybe don't like Jurgen Klopp, but 99% of the players at Liverpool would run through the proverbial wall for the manager. And I think his announcement has actually gone the other way. It's galvanised them. It's like, look, this could be a great season. They're in for still on for a quadruple. I mean, that's probably not going to happen, but they're in there. They're playing well. They're able to cover all these injuries they've got. The crowd feel it. The crowd feel that there's something special going to happen between now and end of the season. They want it to happen for the manager, and so do the players. Contrast to that, to Barcelona and Bayern Munich players who've not quite down tools, but not far off it, and quite clearly we couldn't give a stuff if either of those managers left tomorrow. That's a completely different dynamic that they're dealing with, because these guys are just going, do you know what? He's leaving at the end of the season, but, So what's their incentive for a guy they already maybe don't respect?
You tell me, you've been in a locker room.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What is the incentive? I don't think it's a great incentive. I'd love to be in that Liverpool one to a guy. I'd like to be in that scenario to a guy that I admired and respected and had this success, and you want to play for him and think, I tell you what, let's make sure we don't go out without anything at the end of this season. Give him something to leave with. It's special. Whereas the other two, probably a lot of players are going, do you know what? If he leaves tomorrow, I don't care. And that's not a good position to be in.
What is a great position to be in at the moment, Jules, is Xabi Alonso's agent, surely.
I mean, can you imagine that he hasn't had yet a full season as a manager, Xabi Alonso? Not yet. He arrived in October last year, so last season. So he finished last season, and then this season he's not even finished. And yet he already has Liverpool and Bayern Munich chasing him to be their coach next season. It's pretty incredible, to be fair. And also, I think, just to finish on Tuchel, it feels like Bayern are giving up on the title. They're 8 points behind Bayer Leverkusen. It's 8 points is not impossible to... Yeah, Bayer Leverkusen are amazing and they still haven't lost a game this season, but you can still make up 8 points. But the fact that you're keeping Tuchel, it shows that you don't believe really that you can win this title. For Xabi Alonso, it's incredible. The reports in Germany tonight from people, sources certainly who are well informed, is that he would rather right now stay in Germany and go with Bayern instead of Liverpool. I'm not sure if that's true. Personally, I don't think he would have had time yet to think about any of that, because he must be so focused on Bayer Leverkusen and this incredible season where they can still win the league title, the domestic cup, and the Europa League, by the way, which would be, again, for his first full season as a manager, incredible. I don't think that, surely right now he doesn't have time or doesn't even want to think about Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Bayer Leverkusen. What should I do come June, July, August? I think right now he should be focusing fully on the pitch and getting more success for Leverkusen.
What would you do?
In what sense? Well, hold on. If Bayer Leverkusen under Xabi Alonso, they've handled the pressure thus far very well, right? But trust me, I've been in that position, and over the next 3 months, that pressure, well, it should be cranked up by somebody breathing down their neck, but it might not be. And to Jules' point, why are Bayern not just saying, I tell you what, we cut our ties now. It doesn't matter who they bring it. Well, it does. Solskjaer's been mentioned, but there you go. That's another.
He'd be great though. He's free at the moment. Experience with a big club.
Well, I keep seeing the German Sky boy tweeting about this, and
German Sky boy.
I can't remember his name. Florian, whatever it is. I keep saying, and the word that keeps popping up is he's free.
Right, there you are.
He's available.
There you go.
So is the bus driver. Well. Won't give him the Bayern job. But what I'm saying is, don't give up on that title. If Leverkusen are going to win the title, make sure you're putting a run of results together that's going to ask them, can you handle this pressure? Because we know Dortmund have not been able to do it in recent years. But it's almost, as Joe said, like saying, let's just sort of wither our way through to the end of the season. And that could effectively kill this Bundesliga title with a month to go in the season or something like that. Whereas I'd really like to see Leverkusen been tested even more than they have been to this point. But in terms of what I would do, I mean, it's a really difficult. I just think it's a really difficult.
Do you really want to be the man who has to follow Klopp? And do you want to be the man who has to take over the mess that is Bayern? If you're looking at the two negatives.
If you can paint a long-term picture, and all the dominoes were to fall in place, you'd probably go Bayern Munich off the back of a not very good, and then wait possibly for the Liverpool job in 2 or 3, 4, whatever years' time. But that's in a kind of dream world. So I to be honest, I don't have the answer.
What would you do, Frank?
Well, but Craig, for sure we'd go to Liverpool. I mean, we saw how many coaches have been at Bayern Munich, and I think the last one we did 2 seasons was Guardiola, but after you had 5 or 6 coaches who only lasted 1 season or one season and a half. So it's not secure. If you want to build something, you know that you will have the time. You go to Liverpool, you will have already a very nice tool. Everybody is going to be spot on. You know how it works. You know the house because he also played for Liverpool. He has all the positive, feeling that he needs. I will go for it because it's just a feeling. But really, you compare an insecure situation with something. Yet you have the pressure, but you always have a pressure. And being behind Klopp, it's maybe something good because the fans, they're not stupid. They're going to understand that he will need some time to settle down, I think.
But the other thing is that, and I think this is quite big for managers, certainly ones that are going to clubs that are vying for the top honours, is that the City manager's not leaving just quite yet, Pep Guardiola.
Oh.
And until he leaves, they're going to be probably, and they're favourites to win the title this season, they're going to be the ones to knock off the perch. So you go into Liverpool, you have that pressure as a very inexperienced manager, albeit probably off the success at Leverkusen. But then you look at the other side of it. Who are the 2 big stalwarts for Liverpool? It's Van Dijk and it's Salah. And neither of them are going to be at the club particularly long. They're both in their 30s. There's a chance Salah will go to Saudi Arabia or somewhere else. Van Dijk's already brought up his contract. I think he's 32 at the moment. So that's 2 big pillars of this side that you'd have to change. And those kind of things I think managers look at as well. What's my opposition? What's the core of my team here? What's my budget going to be? And this Liverpool picture can change pretty quickly. So it's not all... It's great at the moment, but 2 or 3 players leave, and they are big players. In a year or so, they're going to be tough to replace.
Tuchel to Barcelona next season then, Jules?
I think that's a strong possibility, really. I mean, if you think about it, where is there a market for him? Germany, he's done Dortmund, Bayern, this is over for him, unless he takes the national team, which is, I guess, possible after Nagelsmann, after the end of the Euros. In England, I think he would really like to come back to England, but he would only come back, I think, to a Champions League club. So if you think about, I don't know, let's say West Ham, who probably will look for a manager after Moyes. No offense to West Ham, who are a big club, but I don't think he would go to a non-Champions League club. And the Champions League clubs won't need a manager this summer. So then, you look into Spain. But again, we talked about the pros and cons for Bayern Munich and Liverpool. Would you really go right now to the mess that is Barcelona with no money? The most likely scenario is that you will lose your best players because they will have to sell in the summer. So I'm not sure if Barca right now is very attractive to him, but it's still Barcelona, and he's still one of the biggest clubs in the world. So maybe, and I think they will be quite keen on him too. Again, I'm not sure if they even have the money to recruit someone like Thomas Tuchel as a manager.